We officially have 1 year now until the 2026 midterms, and Republicans have so much to fix if they want to maintain the House majority and overall win the midterms next year. So I'm starting this playlist right here on American Advocates. It's time to buckle down. And the first way we start is with the economy. You can see right here, breaking, President Trump will now surge cost of living, economy, and affordability messaging following last night's election per Politico. And of course, that's exactly what he's done. It's already begun. We're seeing the affordability messaging being pushed out to wider audiences across America right now.
I like what The Economist said. They said the goal of affordability from Mamdani is worthy, but not his methods. His methods, as I just laid out, do not work. But Donald Trump's methods do work on this issue. Donald Trump gave Joe Biden, this is a fact, 1.4% inflation. You had Joe Biden that drove that up to 9.1%. Hand you 1.4, drive it up to 9.1. Donald Trump is successful 9 months in at bringing down prices. A dozen eggs, the price has dropped 79%. National average of gasoline dropped $3 per gallon in the first week of November. He beat market expectations in September with the inflation rate at 2.5%. Remember, it used to be at 9.1. Inflation adjusted private sector wages increased by over 1,000. 30-year fixed mortgages, the nation was 6.7 at the end of October, 12% lower than when he took office. Donald Trump's policies are working. Last night, blue politicians won in blue cities. Do we need to get the messaging right heading into the midterms? Yes. But Donald Trump's methods, again, are working.
We've also seen President Trump himself just yesterday, I think it was, in Miami, covering this issue as well.
And I'm pleased to report that today the United States has the strongest economy, the strongest borders, the strongest military, the strongest friendships, and the strongest spirit of any nation anywhere. We have the greatest economy right now. A lot of people don't see that. But if you look at what's happening with all the factories, AI, auto plants all over the country being built, that if you would have thought about that 2 or 3 years ago, you would have said it was the opposite. They were all leaving. Now they're all coming in. They're all coming back and then some. And I think that we can honestly say, and I think you're going to see it even more so over the next 12 months, that this is the golden age of America. This is the golden age.
Now, it's good that Trump always has his ear to the ground, and he is listening. He has been great at listening historically. He listens to the people. But this is where we're at the crossroads, because Trump is running America like a business, and I think the majority of the time that's a good thing. However, he's only focused on America being a business, and it's now starting to hit a crossroads where you have to understand we're American citizens, not just customers of the business. And we're more focused on our quality of life to a degree than we are of the health of the business of America. These are my honest thoughts on this. And so it's great. It's great to have manufacturers coming back to America. It's great to be balancing global trade. I've made several videos about this. I'm a fan. I like Trump tariffs. It's great to see foreign policy being ramped up, immigration policy getting under control. It's great that he's running things like a business, but now people are going to start looking down at their wallets and looking at them still being empty and going, yeah, that's wonderful. Wall Street's doing great. The stock market's doing well. Manufacturers are coming back. We're developing AI at record pace. That's good for the health of the country, perhaps. But what's it doing for me? And I want to show you this. This is from America First Insights. I genuinely love this page. And they have a front website page poll that I'm always checking up on, because the first time you approach their website, you can vote on it one time. And you can see what people have selected are their most important issues. The most worthy of note are the first two, obviously. 38.5% say border security is the most important issue in the 2026 midterm election. And logically, I think that makes sense. However, it's the second one that actually is going to matter the most, in my opinion. Economic growth at 30.3%. And the difference between the two is, logically, everyone understands that the immigration is out of control in this country. Not to mention, if we get the immigration under control, the American economy will do even better in the long run. But the most immediate effect of anything Trump can do would be to stuff our wallets full of more money, reduce consumer prices. The economy, scoring second highest on this poll, reveals that. And at the end of the day, when people go to the polls, you can tell everyone you deported, let's say by next year, they've deported 4 million illegal immigrants. Wonderful news. I voted for that. I'm sure you did too. But when you're at the polls and you have another populist, Democrat, socialist candidate running against a Republican, and that candidate is saying, hey, I'm going to lower your grocery costs. I'm going to make sure you can actually afford to eat. I'm going to lower your rent because I know that's out of control right now. As opposed to a Republican candidate who goes, yeah, we destroyed Venezuelan drug boats and we're protecting America and keeping it safe, and we're sticking it to Xi Jinping with the tariffs, and manufacturers are pouring back in. Don't you see we're creating AI at a record pace? And also, the stock market's doing wonderful. Who do you think people are going to vote for? Everyone is selfish at the end of the day. Everyone will think of themselves first. And that's why America first is a winning strategy. But the economy is what people feel the most. And that's how you win elections. That's why we saw Zohran Mamdani win on Tuesday. He promised cheaper groceries, lower rent, and free buses. That's it. It really is that simple. Americans vote with their wallets first, and that's why my greatest fear is that somebody like Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks, I hate reporting on this guy. I hate having to do this. But I fear he's going to be correct if we don't make a hard pivot onto the America First agenda. Cenk Uygur says on X, I think Trump's numbers are going to crater. People want affordability. He hasn't given it to them. People want something that helps them in their lives. He hasn't given it to them. He's acting like an elitist, doesn't seem to care about the economy, and it's going to hurt him. And the thing is, of course, CNN is jumping all over this narrative. And since when do we trust CNN? Well, we don't. But the numbers and the data will always be valuable to some extent.
This is broken down by key demographics. Independents, 60%, so 2/3 of independents think that Trump has made the economy worse. Those younger voters that David talked about, almost 2/3 as well. People of color, almost 3/4, non-college voters, which is a key part of his coalition, very high also, and same with when you look at people making less than $50,000 a year.
Look, it seems we've finally come upon something that most Americans agree upon, and that is a central theme of Trump's winning message a year ago, I will bring costs down, just simply has not happened. And when you add to the rest of just the chaotic year, voters do not see the president's policies and actions, although there are many of them, affecting their lives in a positive way. As I've been talking to voters in New Jersey and Virginia over the past few weeks, I mean, it's the independent voters who really come alive here. And it's not that hard to find voters who voted for the president. They really wanted to see some change, and now they are not pleased with this. Now, look, we have to put a million caveats here because a lot will happen between now and next year. But I am told by White House officials that the president is obsessed with the midterms. You can just hear him talking about it already. He talks about it so often. So Virginia and New Jersey tomorrow are going to offer a window into what the country's thinking, as our poll did, of course.
And that's the thing. We did get a window into what Americans are thinking. And albeit, those states, they're deep blue. And there was always going to be an election that turned out that way, where the candidates that were blue won. I mean, nobody's surprised by that. In New York City, for instance, there was never a hope that Sliwa, a Republican, was going to win. The race literally came down between Zohran Mamdani, a socialist, and Andrew Cuomo, a Democrat who killed grandmas during the pandemic. I mean, it really wasn't much of a choice. But the bottom line is, good. Trump's obsessed with the midterms. Good. That's because he knows his name is not on the ballots, but totally is at the same time. Because if Republicans lose the midterms and give up the House control, the last 2 years of Trump's presidency will be agonizingly boring. Not to mention fruitless, not to mention stressful, because they're going to come after him and attack him. They will stall everything he does. They will stop everything he does. And they will relentlessly pursue impeachment. That's the end of the story there. Here's a chart that I really want to reveal to you. It shows some more data. It's the economic confidence and economic outlook. And it's scoring from the bottom of the list up, January 2nd all the way through October 1st, you can see, where people weigh in on their confidence of the economy. And look at the second column. Getting worse percentage has continued to go up, starting January 2nd at 57%. Arriving now in October, we're at 64% of Americans think that the economy is getting worse. The public opinion and public perception really is all that matters. That's how elections work. Most places have not seen a fall in gas prices nearly enough. And again, that's something people are buying every day or every week, along with groceries. Fix these things. Fix them. Make Americans feel the effects of your economy, the Trump economy. It must start shining. And we have 1 year as a collective conservative party to get our act together. And the thing is, you have to go above and beyond just saying it. It's eerily reminiscent of the late Biden presidency, where they were just telling us publicly, don't you feel it? It's better. Bidenomics is great. What a great economy we're experiencing. The job increase, the growth on the market. Aren't you feeling it, Americans? This is essentially what the Trump administration has been doing now for the past month or two. You go back in time on any of my videos from earlier this year, and I was all for it because I saw on paper what Trump was doing was good for the American economy, and that is true. But at some point, the numbers on paper have to be felt. And it's getting to a point now where pages like Rapid Response 47 here, I hate to do this to Trump, are sharing his tweets as they do. This is like an official Trump page that shares all of his tweets. And they're now getting fact-checked on X, which, if we're being honest, X is nowadays a very conservative platform. You can see his tweet. Walmart just announced that prices for a Thanksgiving dinner is now down 25% since under sleepy, crooked Joe Biden in 2024. Affordability is a Republican stronghold. Hopefully Republicans will use this irrefutable fact. Well, sorry to do this to you, Mr. President. You know I love you, but readers added missing context to this image. The 2025 Thanksgiving meal contains 15 items, while the 2024 meal under Biden contained 21 items. Additionally, most of the brand name items in the 2024 meal under Biden were replaced with Great Value brand Walmart brand items. And they link the sources to prove it from corporate.walmart.com. It's not enough to just say it. You're not going to win elections by telling people or gaslighting people. We're past that point now. The worst part is he's doubling down on this messaging in multiple ways. First, saying it in the Oval Office.
They just came out with a very powerful statement. They've done it for many years, that under the Biden administration, a Thanksgiving meal with all the trimmings cost 25% more. In other words, our Thanksgiving this year coming up will cost 25% less than sleepy Joe Biden's. Now, to me, that's better than anything there is. That's better than a poll. They've got everything included, from the trimmings and from the turkey and from everything, a lot of different items. It's 25% less this year than it was last year when he was so-called in charge. He wasn't in charge. The people around the desk were in charge. The auto pen was in charge. That is a big factor.
We also have the Walmart CEO tweeting it out, talking about how the Thanksgiving basket this year is our best and most affordable yet. I mean, he even sounds like, did Trump tell him to write this? Like, let's read this in Trump's tone. Our Thanksgiving meal basket at Walmart here is our best and most affordable yet. At less than $4 per person, you can feed 10 people a full holiday meal for 25% less than the basket we had last year. It provides meaningful savings on everything we all love about the Thanksgiving meal, including a Butterball turkey at its lowest price since 2019. Last full year. I can't even. Oh, I can't. That sounds like literally Trump called Walmart CEO and was like, you're going to say this and you're going to make sure Americans understand their Thanksgiving meal is cheaper this year. Stop doubling down, okay? That's the whole point. Stop doubling down on the narrative. We don't like narrative. We sure as hell didn't like it from Biden, but we also don't appreciate it from you just because we voted for you. Get the consumer prices down. I just want to even show off just a couple of common consensus, I would call it, tweets on X about this topic even. Mila Joy said late election night 2 days ago, "I'm sorry, but Trump needs to stop focusing on other countries and start really focusing on America. Lower food prices, the economy, voter ID. Otherwise, the GOP is going to get stomped in 2026. There, I said it." Kelly Holmes on X writes in regards to the Politico article stating that Trump administration officials are going to surge messaging about affordability. She says, "Messaging surge? Nah, we're done with the hype machine. We need a relief surge, gas under $3, groceries that don't require a loan, and rent that doesn't eat 60% of paychecks. Trump won, great. Now show us the relief, not the press release." This is a great page I follow, Election Wizard. They put out great data on election season polls. Trump's delivered as much as he can on Ukraine and Israel for now. Border security, massively improved. Time to pivot to the economy. The number one reason voters sent him back. Plenty of runaway to lock in a W for 2026, but real progress on the kitchen table issues is needed. Matt Forney on X writes, "The economy has improved under Trump. The problem is that it hasn't improved enough and people are still suffering. We didn't vote for a slightly less bad economy. We've seen plenty of radical action from him on immigration and trade. We need more." You can even see Representative Thomas Massey here from Kentucky. He's also saying it at this point, too. "To avoid a repeat of last night's shellacking in the 2026 midterms, Republicans should quit covering for pedos, put America before Israel, put farmers before corporations, quit funding wars abroad, reduce spending to control inflation, quit attacking independent voices." Thomas Massey has opposed Trump at every turn, and I can't stand him. But unfortunately, much like Cenk Uygur in a way, they're on opposite ends of the spectrum, and yet I find myself agreeing with both of them, and I hate it. I hate that. I want to be back in the middle with my homeboy, President Trump, saying, "What a great job this president's doing. Man, I'm saving a lot of money. Man, the Republicans are going to crush the midterms." That's where I want to be. And that's a checklist, in my opinion, of how to get there. Because if something doesn't change, this Politico article is going to wind up being correct. Top Trump political advisor says president will focus on affordability going forward. Fresh off Democrats' clean sweep of the 2025 off-year elections, President Donald Trump plans to refocus his political messaging on affordability. James Blair, the political director for Trump's 2024 presidential campaign, and the RNC told Politico. Here's where Politico drops the truth bombshell. They say, armed with a message that focused on cost of living, Democrats had a series of wins Tuesday. Governor candidates Mickey Sherrill and Abigail Spanberger both beat their Republican opponents in New Jersey and Virginia by double digits. Democrats also flipped at least 13 seats in the Virginia House of Delegates, successfully passed a redistricting referendum in California, and saw Zohran Mamdani, a Democrat socialist, cruise to victory in the New York City mayoral race. The victor's strict focus on affordability was key, Blair said. Why did Zohran Mamdani do so well last night? He relentlessly focused on affordability. People talk about communists. They can say all these things, but the fact is, he was talking about the cost of living. And that's it. That is the key. Cost of living, affordability. That's all I've got to say at this point. I'll even help the Republicans right now. If you're a Republican right now, this is the ad that you'd want to run to win an election. You would want to say, "Hello, I'm the American advocate here, and I'm running for office. I want to let you know as Americans that we haven't been doing enough for you, but that all changes today. We're going to look into Biden's absurd EPA regulations that have increased the price of your food. The cost of transportation from the farm to your kitchen table is what's driving up food prices, but no more. We're going to slash those old school idiotic Democrat regulations. We're going to cut red tape on things like drill, baby, drill. It's time we start producing more of our own oil to lower our gas costs, because when we lower gas costs, we lower transportation costs, which lowers your food costs. We're going to slap those infamous Trump tariffs on all of the unfair trading partners out there in the world, harming our farmers, harming our manufacturers, and harming the American economy. You're going to see a drastic change over the next year, and you're going to, more importantly, feel it with your own wallets. And if I get elected, not only will I be ensuring that you'll be saving money at the grocery store, but I'll also be ensuring that you're just not having to blow any money on stupid stuff like taxes, for instance. We're going to extend the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act middle-class tax plan for all working-class families in America to make sure that you're spending less and saving more on top of it. I'm the American Advocate, and I'm running for office. You run something like that, you'll win. You'll win any election. It's all about what you can do for the American people, and I'm talking the everyday American people, not the 8% of them who trade on Wall Street. And certainly not people who live outside of America in foreign countries like Ukraine and Israel. It's America first all day. Be sure to subscribe if you agree with that messaging, and thanks so much for watching.